Welcome to the Oaks Podcast. I'm your host, Travis Hall, alongside my wife and co-host, Ingrid.
On this podcast, we talk about all things real estate, entrepreneurship, business, faith, family, you name it, we talk about it, and how we do it all as an equally yoked husband and wife team.
We are glad you're here. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this week's episode. What's up, and welcome to the Yoke Podcast. I'm your host, Travis.
I'm Ingrid.
My co-host. Today, we're excited. We are doing a different podcast.
Yeah.
This one we're calling Deal Chat, and this one's titled The Duplex That Built Our Portfolio.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, we're getting ready to sell this property and thought what a good opportunity to reflect back on everything the property gave us and what it allowed us to do. And actually run some numbers, like things we hadn't thought about in a long time, like 10 years later. And so it was kind of fun. And then obviously we did some very creative things with this. And so thought it would bring value to the audience.
Well, and we've talked like we should bring more of this type of conversation into the podcast because we have this conversation a lot, like with people about like talking about specific deals. And
I always just think it needs to be done with a whiteboard. But for those of you listening in your car, we're not whiteboarding anything.
We're not. All right. So here's the hook. What if we told you that we bought a duplex for $325 and it has been like the foundation key for buying multiple properties, and it's probably netted us around $750,000?
Yeah. That, and I think the ROI that ChatGPT calculated for us because of the ways that we were able to leverage the HELOC on it was like 6,000%.
It's kind of vague, but it's because it's because we churned it so many times.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, but let's talk about the house and what it is. So it is a little tiny duplex, like tiny.
Each side is 630 square feet.
Little.
Yep.
And it lives little. We know because we live there.
Yes.
But it's a little duplex in downtown Littleton, 80120 zip code. Beautiful. Proximity to downtown is awesome. That's why we liked it.
Yep.
It's got a detached garage, and we bought it in 2015 for $325,000.
Yes, but we did not buy it. We bought it with cash.
We did.
Why did we buy it with cash?
So it was one of our first deals that we bought this way with a private money lender. We bought it with private money solely so that way we could go in and force appreciated it. It was under market on rent and it needed some love.
And it was teeny tiny. So it had been on the market a while. And now we know why, because we were on the market a while until someone
it was on the market for a solid time. And we were like, we want to buy a duplex.
But it was gnarly. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was 1955 and kind of like a cheaply built place back then too.
Yeah.
And it just needed lots of love.
Lots of love.
So it was very under market. But we bought it, hard money, private money, and then we immediately one of the tenants, Miss Sean Marie, she was lovely, but she moved out on one side and we began the process of renovating that side.
Yep.
The upside of being small is that your renovation costs are a lot lower.
Oh, they sure are. Like a bathroom, like pedestals, like this big, where you can't even like dry your hair. You're like,
it is still one of the smallest bathrooms.
I know.
But so we updated it, renovated it, and then we moved in to that side.
And that was sweat equity.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some of the electrical done.
Yeah, we did. We had a new electrical panel put in, lights, but then we expanded the main area. There was no like area for eating. There was no like dining anywhere. So we
we made it down into a pony wall. That's good in the background.
We did. And so it turned out great. So we moved in. The other side, she was renting and she stayed there for a little bit. Once she moved out, I think it was in like 6 months, she moved next door actually.
Yeah.
Because we needed to renovate that side. Mary was her name. Nice gal. So we renovated that side, mirror image. And then my sister and her husband, Justin, they moved into that side. But they were paying fair market rent.
Yep. Signed the lease.
And so with the increased rent, we were able to renovate, excuse me, we were able to refinance that property and pull out our equity and put it into an FHA mortgage.
Yeah, so we did an FHA loan for 3.25%. This is in 2015, 2016.
Yep.
A property that we purchased for 325. I forget what the value was that it came in at.
Yeah, it came in at value. I don't remember. It was in the 400s.
But
So we had
essentially,
increased it enough where we did not have to put like a down payment.
we didn't have a down payment, but then with that appreciation too, we later opened a HELOC on it a couple years after that. So maybe 2017, 2018, we're able to open a $135,000 HELOC on the property.
Yep.
And that is why it's so pivotal in our real estate journey.
Right. And we did that HELOC after we had moved out. So we moved out in 2016. No, 2017.
Rents were probably like $1,400, $1,500 at that time.
Yeah.
Because it was a nice duplex in a really good location, but she teeny tiny.
Yeah. She's teeny tiny. So that fast forward to now, just talking about the teeny tiny, that's why it's kind of interesting to talk about. 10 years later, it is not a seller's market. We've talked about that a lot in the show. It is a buyer's market. We've had so many people interested in this thing because the location's amazing. I mean, it's still in a multifamily area, and so there's a lot of cars, but the location's so good, but it's small. And everyone's like, "Oh, we love it. That's so great."
It's one of the nicest finished duplexes we've seen. Oh, we'd love to house hack it. Oh, yeah, it's small.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's the same square footage it says it is on the MLS.
Yeah, exactly. And it is tricky because people ask us a lot, like, "Well, why are you selling it?" Like, I mean, agents, like, "Well, if it's so great, why is it selling?"
So great.
And it's like, well, it is great. We've owned it for 10 years, and it's just time to recycle that money. The return on equity could be higher if we put it somewhere else.
Yeah. And I will say, like, this is the one where I was like, we're going to own this forever. We're not selling this until like the kids get married and we want like a gift for their, wedding or something.
It's like a legacy property.
Like legacy property. I'm going to scrape this baby in 20 years and build my dream home. Like, it's on a nice, big, flat lot.
Yep.
I mean, we truly thought we would own it forever.
We did.
And yet we feel like it's topped out in market value to us right now, and we can go do something better with it. So, and that's lessons learned. We'll talk about that at the end. But
well, and like painting the picture, like for partly why it's like it is in this great spot, cul-de-sac at the end, but then right next to it is this beautiful big property. As beautiful as from an investor lens. It is like a 16-unit, old school, one-level apartment complex. Yeah. Right, and so it's the same thing. Each one of those is like very small. It's a big property though. So it's for the neighborhood to truly turn over. That's got to go.
That has to go.
And it's a big, it would draw a big piece of, a big price because it's such a big chunk of property. And there's 16 or 18 individual rentals there already.
Yeah. So let's talk specifically about the ways in which we leveraged this HELOC since we got it, so 8 years. We've used it as our own hard money bank. So it has funded renovations for flips. It's funded down payments for flips. It's funded down payments for short-term rentals. It's funded lending deals. Truly, like, if you're doing a conservative 20% ROI, like given our track record in some kind of indirect way, it's probably made us $300,000 to $350,000 over like just the HELOC portion, the $135,000 HELOC portion of it.
Right.
And for me, I think that is one of the biggest takeaways. I think a lot of investors or house hackers, people who are looking to BRRRR, look at a property and only see kind of that first level number, right? All those numbers that are on the first level of like, what's my cash on cash return? What's my ROI on this and that? But at the end of the day, what is it going to allow you to do? That's like that secondary level. And that's really where it's like, was just such a gift.
Well, and it's just like, why are we selling now? Because it has done all those things. But, coming back to the property, like we're rented at just shy of $2,000 a month per side.
Which is very, very high given the size.
Oh, it's really high. I mean, the
The
neighbors
rent per
rent for
square foot
1,500 square foot.
is, yeah.
Yeah. The neighbors rent for $1,500 per month per side. It is not as fancy as ours. Ours is, it's small, but it is beautiful. And it's well taken care of. Everything's new. And so it looks really good. But so, I mean, it does rent really well. But like we talked about, it's just, we've kind of hit that ceiling because we've been renting at this price for a while, for several years now. The only thing that happens every year is our cash flow goes down.
Yep.
Because
taxes.
the taxes have gone up significantly.
Yeah.
And insurance has gone up and everything else has gone up. But
maintenance,
our rent has really stayed the same in the last couple of years. And were we already ahead of where rent was on this property? Yeah. And, that I'd say like the local rents have caught up to it. But we are not in a spot where we are increasing rent on that property.
No, not anymore.
And I mean, in reality, like depending on, we've got the rental turnover dialed in pretty good, but depending on when you rent, you might have to lower rent.
Well, and I will say that like this is for sure the property that we cut our teeth on with property management.
For sure.
I mean, really like living next door and being able to have that balance of maintenance. Like, and we've gotten that question like, oh, you've moved out of state. So obviously you just don't want to manage it remotely anymore. Well, no. I mean, truly, like in the last 3 years, we really had pivoted all of our management to a place where we almost were never on site and we didn't ever have to, even though this property specifically was less than a mile from our house, we almost never went by, right? We were trying to leverage out all of that in our time and become a lot more passive in that. This is the one that I learned, like you do an open house for showings with tenants. Right. You don't want to run back and forth there. But it's not because of management challenges at all.
No, it's easy.
It's really easy. Although they did ask the other day if I could send somebody out to clean the washing machine. Can you send someone out to clean our washing machine?
What if our tenants listen and watch our podcast?
I would say, would I send somebody out to clean your fridge?
Yeah. It was a funny request because the dryer or washer, whichever one it was, like stopped working like last fall.
No, but it must be like smelling musty or something. I'm
so
like, what?
We put in a brand new one. And so like they're the only ones that have ever used it. And we're like, if it's dirty, you wash it. It's yours.
Oh, anyway,
that's funny. Goodness. Well, let's talk about selling now because it's been frustrating. I mean, granted, the market is it's a tricky one. And we were really trying, I mean, we've tried everything on this one. We listed it as a residential house, really trying to cast the net to people that are house hacking or wanting to house hack.
Yeah. And then the MLS caught us and we got a slap on the wrist and they moved our listing over to
the investment
residential income,
which we did it on purpose and we knew we might get a slap on the wrist, but we're like,
fine,
whatever.
But some things are worth it.
Yeah. Cause it was half empty.
Yeah. I just told somebody else to do that. I said, listen, you should start your property as this and then the MLS will audit you, catch you, slap you on the wrist, hopefully not give you a fine, and then they move it over.
Or if they do, it's $500. It's worth it to try to catch.
And you want to know what? They move it all over for you.
They did.
So you don't have to re-enter the MLS. It's kind of worth it.
They just one day it's like, hey, we moved your listing.
I'm like, how? How did you do that?
But so here's where we started. We started at $750, knowing it was a stretch and knowing like we wouldn't get that, but we're kind of like, hey, it's not a good market. So if it's going to come down,
we're in a market where we're going to have to lower it anyways.
For sure. And so let's just start with, and it's our house. And so like, it's still half of it's rented. It's nearly covering itself with that side. Like we were not like super motivated from a point of like, we need to fire and sell this thing. It wasn't like that. So we listed at $750. Really, we had lots of showings, no bites. Yeah. We didn't get a bite until we were at $700. We dropped to $700. We had one offer.
Well, we did also advertise, for a while. It's an FHA assumable loan.
Yep.
Not the problem, but the blessing with an FHA assumable loan is that you have to assume it and live there. Yep. And so it really narrowed our buyer pool because a lot of people came and saw it and they might have purchased it that way, except that they didn't want to live there. And it was just a tricky one because the secondary lender would have to be in a second position. And
well, that's what's unique about it is it's an assumable loan, but we bought it we had put the loan on it in 2016, and it was so low at the time, 3.25, that we never refinanced.
No.
And then we weren't living there, and so to refinance into investment loan didn't make any sense.
Mm-mm.
And so the assumption principal was only $260,000.
And so now the buyer has to come with the HELOC
Yeah.
and that.
The delta was way too high. We tried to sell it creatively.
Yep.
We had multiple people like, I'll do this creatively. But for us, we were like your typical seller where like we needed a specific amount in cash to pay off the HELOC, to pay off the, like what we need and why we're selling it.
Right.
And I mean, we probably had, not exaggerating, 50, 60, 70 conversations.
I know. And nobody could come with that amount of cash, which we knew.
Right.
But I will say to the audience, like, if you are getting ready to purchase a property that's maybe been on the market a while, or it's just like you're having these conversations with, an agent or a seller and saying, why isn't it selling? And they're like, oh, well, XYZ. And they kind of give you those top 3 reasons. Those 100% are more than likely going to be the same reasons you have trouble when you're going to sell it. Size, not finish level anymore, but size and location. Not a lot of people liked being in the end of a cul-de-sac of multifamily.
Right.
That really deterred a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, like our actual buyer, we're under contract now. Our actual buyer is one that we were really hoping for. And that is a 1031 buyer.
Yeah, they're perfect.
So
that
meaning
is the perfect buyer for this.
They sold something and they are doing a 1031 exchange where they're deferring their taxes and they're parking the money somewhere else. And so they have a big fat chunk of money and they need to put it somewhere. They're not going to live there. It's just going to be rent. And so like it rents really easily. It rents well. So like they're a perfect buyer.
Yeah, they really are. And like we bought it for $325. We're going to sell it for $650-ish. Like that's double, but that's not necessarily the lessons from the property. Is like not looking at what we're going to make and how we're going to use that. What it is looking at how we were able to leverage it over that long and the amount of wealth and doors it unlocked for us in the time that we owned it with that HELOC.
Right. A normal property, you think you buy it, it's rented. Hopefully you depreciate it. We didn't even talk about depreciation. We did not do a cost segregation on this back then, and we should have.
We should have.
We didn't. We depreciated it, but that's normal. Buy, rent, depreciate, do your thing. With this one, we used the daylights out of it.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
I mean, we really did. We learned a ton on it. First of all, we used that HELOC like crazy.
Yeah, I think we even lent some friends money when they owed.
We did.
The IRS.
With this.
Yeah.
We were to bless them with this. I mean, it was super short and it worked, but it is interesting when you zoom out and look back at all of the things that you did because of this one property. And like, what's funny about this, but we didn't talk about this. What's funny about this property is before we bought this property, Ingrid and I had been planning this trip to France.
That's right.
We're like, let's go to France.
Or in Italy. One of those. Both.
Maybe it was both of those. I don't know. A European trip. And needless to say, we didn't go.
We still haven't.
But we had like set aside some funds. We were going to do it. And then we were talking and we're like, maybe we should just buy another property. And we did. We didn't go on our Europe trip and we bought this house.
Right? Would you do it again?
All day long.
All day long.
At some point, I would like to go to Europe, but
not buy your hang glider and put a ring on this.
Right. Again? Same thing. Same story. We sold my motorcycle. We bought a roof. The roof for this property.
That's right. Oh, we had to replace an entire sewer line at this property.
Yep. Sewer line, roof. What else? I mean,
HVAC vents now have asbestos, so we're getting that remediated.
Yeah, right. They don't just now. Now we're just being made aware of it.
I mean, honestly, though, like those problems, like, I mean, a typical buyer, right? It's going to be like, asbestos, lead-based paint, radon. Like we're such old hats. We're like, what's a little asbestos?
Right.
Just don't soak it and put it in a double trash bag.
Don't make it airborne and you're good to go.
Yeah. But I think one of the lessons of Stern for the audience would be, even if you start small, start.
Yeah.
Because at the time, this was a very small start. It's the home that we brought Malin
But
home,
it was a
and
small start, but it was a big step.
it was a huge step, but it was a duplex, and so, I mean, that temporary pain of
Mm.
living in 650 square feet and then moving after we had a baby and she started to walk and we were like, "We might."
Well, and we moved from a duplex that we also owned.
But it
This
was
is
a
our
3,500 square foot duplex,
it was 5,000 square foot total. It was
right?
2,500 per side. So it
25.
was like so much bigger down to this tiny little
Yeah.
thing.
But,
It's a
like,
yeah.
start. Don't not start, and don't because of, XYZ, like, think creatively. Think not just about that first level of numbers, but also that second level of numbers and what does it allow you to do? Because
Mhm.
that's truly where the value came in for us on this one. And it's what showed us that we really loved Littleton. And we ended up
Oh, we did.
purchasing our house that we lived in, then on there because we were like, we love this neighborhood.
Yeah, we did.
So you just don't know some of those effects at the time. I would say no matter what, just start. Start somewhere. Start with a condo. Who knows what that condo could be? Just start.
Hmm.
You
I
got
agree.
some lessons?
That is,
Lessons from Stern?
I mean, I'm a big fan of, especially if you're young and like we're just, it's easier without kids. But I know I have friends that do it with kids, and I'm like, power to you. That's amazing. But I love the house hack idea.
Yeah, live in your investment.
You live in your investment, and like a duplex is, I mean, they're harder to come by. Some people are like, absolutely not, which I understand.
Yeah.
But it comes with a full blown rental.
Mhm.
And so it's just, I love that idea. I love the idea of just buying a house and renting out the basement, renting out the room, somehow
Mhm.
being creative with that.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I would do that over
Be
again.
patient.
Oh,
That would be one.
it's a long game.
It's a long game.
Hmm.
Like this.
And plans change.
Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Yep.
I've learned that a lot
I
in my
know.
owners club too, is like, everyone sets out to like have this property for forever. And I would love to keep every property we've ever owned, but that's not how the game has worked. It is truly more like a game of Monopoly where it's like you're switching things up, you
Yeah.
know?
I
And
100% agree. I was like, these are forever homes. They're
yeah.
gonna be paid off in 30 years. We're gonna keep our portfolio as long as possible. And I would absolutely say that. Like, if you're sitting on a property that you bought years ago, is there a way you aren't thinking about it that you could where it would have so much more leverage for you? And could it be the key to your next move?
Well, I think about, just like exchanging equity for something else. I think about Josiah and like some of the deals that we've talked with him about, of like
Mhm.
a client selling a nice, luxurious home, single family home in
A
Denver
high
Metro.
appreciating market,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was like, it was worth, 2 million or something. I can't remember, but owned it outright. I think it was less than that. Owned it outright, moved all of that cash, and he was making like 2,000 bucks a month.
Mhm.
Moved all that cash into a portfolio of lower appreciating homes in Texas, but there
But
was like 14 of them.
and they had, like, just been built, and so they had very little, like, future CapEx
Right. They're all
expenses.
managed.
They were managed. He didn't have to manage them.
And it's like bringing in like $10,000 a month of
I know.
cash flow.
The exact same equity.
And so it is interesting. Like, be open minded to your goals and dreams changing for what you need at the moment. Like, sometimes you need cash flow, sometimes you don't. You're like, this is long game.
Mhm.
And if it's purely long game, yeah, just keep that sucker. You want an appreciating asset, period.
Mhm.
But if that's your goal and you owned the Texas properties, I would probably switch it
Right.
and buy something in a higher appreciating market like Denver.
Mhm.
So yeah, just be open to being flexible.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think we should do a couple more of these at some point because they are fun to talk through and real numbers of like,
Yeah.
how does this deal work? Like, I mean, we have multiple deals in our contract right now.
Yeah.
Like flips, most of them flips, but it'd be interesting. I think people would like hearing some of those like numbers as far as like, how does that work? And
For
how'd you
sure.
find the deal? And how did you assess how much renovation would cost? All those things.
Well, you're always under.
Yeah, you always guess.
No, I love that. And just quick plug for next week. We
Hmm.
are doing book club. So we're reading Never Enough. And it is one of my very most favorite parenting books. So from real
Very good.
estate to parenting, you get it all on the Yoked
You
podcast.
do. I love it. You want to wrap us?
Yeah. What are you yoked to right now? Or what are you yoked to when it came to this deal? What would you say, like, it absolutely was the catalyst? Couldn't have done it without it. Besides me.
Perseverance
Just kidding.
on this one.
Perseverance.
Because we talked early on of like, maybe we'll just not sell it right now.
Oh, we ran numbers every 2 months, probably during
And I
this.
mean, there would have been a point where we would have just been like, we'll just wait.
And our tenants, bless them, on the other side, they were very patient with us because there were lots of showings and agents refused to read showing instructions, and they would go try to get into their side of the duplex, even though it clearly said in 3 different places the showing is only for the vacant
Hey,
side.
babe, reading is hard sometimes.
So they were very frustrated at times with us, and they've really stuck with us.
They are. Yeah, that's so true. What about you?
Honestly, I would say the HELOC. I mean, truly, when I look back on Stern, like, the HELOC unlocked just so much opportunity for us. So much.
I totally agree.
That it was absolutely a huge deal.
So finding a local banker that you can use.
Yeah, I mean, we did that through a local bank.
Because it was an investment property, so it was a little bit different. And at the time, it wasn't as easy to find.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will say on that note, another to learn, we closed that HELOC and another investment HELOC on the same day. And it was a total pain in the butt.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I remember like thinking, I'm never going to do 2 loans like this with the same lender at the same time, because it was like double everything. It was what a nightmare.
I remember that.
Anyway, side note.
Oh, beauty. Well, I can be found at the Ingrid Hall on Instagram.
And I'm at the Travis Hall, and our new Yoked channel is what? Yoked Co.
Yoked Co. It doesn't have a lot on it yet, but it will.
Same with YouTube at the Yoked Co. Just kidding. At Yoked Co.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
This is the first time.
Yeah, it's all good. Well, thanks for listening. We hope it was enjoyable hearing all of these details on this deal breakdown, the deal chat. And look forward to next week for book club.
See ya.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of the Yoke Podcast. We hope you enjoyed it.
And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along as we drop a new episode each week.